and I'm miserable. Don't suppose it's because I care for Strephon, for I hate him. Well, no girl could go about with a man who goes about with a mother considerably younger than himself.
Phyllis, my darling.
Phyllis, my own.
Oh, don't! How dare you! But perhaps you're the two noblemen I'm engaged to.
Oh, I am one of them.
I am the other.
Oh, well then, my darling, my own. Well, have you settled which it's to be?
Not altogether. It's a difficult proposition. It would be hardly delicate to toss up. On the whole, we'd rather leave it to you.
How can it possibly concern me? You are both rich, you are both earls, and you are both plain.
So we are. At least I am.
So am I.
No.
I am indeed very plain.
Well, perhaps you are.
Oh, well, I say there is really nothing to choose between you. If, however, one of you would forego his title and distribute his estates among his Irish tenantry, why then I should see a reason for accepting the other.
Tolloler, are you prepared to make this sacrifice?
No.
Not even to oblige a lady?
No, not even to oblige a lady.
Then the only question is which one of us will give way to the other. Perhaps, on the whole, she would be happier with me. I don't know, I may be wrong.
No, I don't know that you are. I really believe she would. But the awkward part of the thing is, if you rob me of the girl of my heart, we must fight, and one of us must die. It's a family tradition I've sworn to respect. It's a painful position, for I have a very strong regard for you, George.
My dear Thomas.
Oh, very dear to me, George. We were boys together. At least I was. If I were to survive you, my existence would be hopelessly embittered.
Well then, dear Thomas, you must not do it. I say it again and again, if it will have this effect on you, you must not do it. No, if one of us must destroy the other, then let it be me.
No.
Oh yes, by our boyish friendship, I implore you.
Well, be it so. But no, I cannot consent to an act which would crush you with unavailing remorse.
But it will not do so. I would be very sad at first. Oh, who would not be? But it would wear off. I like you very much, Thomas, but perhaps not as much as you like me.
George, you're a noble fellow, but that telltale tear betrays you. No, George, you're very fond of me, and I can't not give you a week's uneasiness on my account.
It will not last a week. Remember, you lead the House of Lords, and on your demise, I shall take your place. Oh, Thomas, it would last a day.
Oh, now I hope you are not going to fight about me, because it really isn't worthwhile.
Well, I don't believe it is.
Not I. The sacred ties of friendship are paramount.
Though perhaps I may incur your blame, for things are few I would not do in friendship's name.
And I may say I think the same, not even love should rank above true friendship's name.
Then free me, pray be mine the blame, forget your craze and go your ways in friendship's name, in friendship's name.
Oh, many a man in friendship's name has yielded fortune, rank, and fame, but no one yet in the world so wide has yielded up a promised bride. Except, oh, friendship, all the same.
The sacrifice to thy dear name. Accept this sacrifice
to thy dear name.
Love unrequited robs me of me rest. Love, hopeless love, my ardent soul encumbers. Love, nightmare-like, lies heavy on me chest, and weaves itself into my midnight slumbers. When you're lying awake with a dismal headache and reposes tabooed by anxiety, I conceive you may use any language you choose to indulge in without impropriety. For your brain is on fire, the beggars conspire of usual slumber to plunder you. First your counterpane goes and uncovers your toes, and your sheet slips demurely from under you. Then the blanketing tickles you feel like mixed pickles so terribly sharp is the pricking. And you're hot and you're cross and you tumble and toss till there's nothing twixt you and the ticking. Then the bedclothes all creep to the ground in a heap, and you pick them all up in a tangle. Next your pillow resigns and politely declines to remain at its usual angle, where you get some repose in the form of a doze with hot eyeballs and head ever aching. But your slumbering teems with such horrible dreams that you very much better be waking. For you dream you are crossing the channel and tossing about on a steamer from Harwich, which is something between a large bathing machine and a very small second-class carriage. And you're giving a treat, penny icicled meat, to a party of friends and relations. They're a ravenous horde, and they all came on board at Sloane Square and South Kensington stations. And bound on that journey you find your attorney who started that morning from Devon. He's a bit undersized and you don't feel surprised when he tells you he's only 11. Where you're driving like mad with this singular lad, by the ship's now a four-wheeler. And you're playing round games and he calls you bad names when you tell him that Tice paid the dealer. But this you can't stand, so you throw up your hand and you find you're as cold as an icicle. In your shirt and your socks are black silk with gold clocks, crossing Salisbury Plain on a bicycle. And he and the crew are on bicycles too, which they somehow or other invested in. And he's telling the tars all the particulars of a company he's interested in. It's a scheme of devices to get at low prices all goods from cough mixtures to cables, which tickled the sailors by treating retailers as though they were all vegetables. You get a good spadesman to plant a small tradesman to stake off his boots with a boot tree, and his legs will take root and his fingers will shoot and he'll blossom with bud like a fruit tree. From the greengrocer tree you get grapes and green pea, cauliflower, pineapple and cranberries, while the pastry will plant cherry brandy will grant apple puffs and 3/4 and berries. The shares of a penny and ever so many are taken by Rothschild and Baring, and just as a few are allotted to you, you awake with a shudder despairing. You're a regular wreck with a crick in your neck, and no wonder you snore, for your head's on the floor, and you needles and bits from your soles to your shins, and your flesh is a cream with your left legs asleep, and you grab your toes and a riot your nose, and you rub and run with a feverish tongue, and a thirst intense in a general sense that you haven't been sleeping in clover. But the darkness has passed, and it's daylight at last, and the night is being gone. Ditto, ditto, my song. And thank goodness they're both of them over.
Distressed to see your lordship in this condition.
Ah, my lords, it is seldom that a Lord Chancellor has reason to envy the position of another, but I am free to confess that I would rather be 2 earls engaged to Phyllis than any other half-dozen noblemen upon the face of the globe.
Yes, it's an enviable position when you're the only one.
Oh yes, most enviable. At the same time, seeing you thus, we naturally say to ourselves, this is very sad. Your lordship is as constitutionally as blithe
as a bird, he trills about the bench like a thing of song and gladness. His series of judgments in F sharp minor, given Andante in 6/8 time, are among the most remarkable effects ever achieved in a court of chancery. He is perhaps the only living instance of a judge whose decrees have earned the honor of a double encore. So, how can we bring ourselves to do that which will deprive the court of chancery of one of its most attractive features?
I feel the force of your remarks, but I am here in two capacities, and they clash, my lord, they clash. I deeply grieve to say that in declining to entertain my last application to myself, I presumed to address myself in terms which render it impossible for me ever to apply to myself again. It was a most painful scene, my lord, most painful.
This is what it is to have two capacities. Let us be thankful we are persons of no capacity whatever.
Come. Remember, you're a very just and kindly old gentleman, and you need have no hesitation in approaching yourself, so long as you do so respectfully and with the proper show of deference.
Do you really think so?
I do.
Well then, I will nerve myself to another effort, and if that fails, I resign myself to my fate.
How about a song?
If you go in, you're sure to win. Yours will be the charming maid. Be your law, the ancient saw. Fate hath never won fair lady. Never, fate hath never won fair lady. Every tempting has an end. When at the worst affairs will mend. Dark the dawn when day is nigh. Hustle your hopes and don't say die.
He who shies at such a prize, he's not worth a martyr lady. He's so kind to bear in mind, fate hath never won the lady. Never, fate hath never won the lady. While the sunshine take your way, where a will is there's a way. Near a lion in his lair, none of the prey deserve the prey.
I'll take heart and make a start, though I fear the prospect's shady. Much I'd spend to gain my end. Fate hath never won their lady.
Never, fate hath never won their lady. Nothing venture, nothing win. Blood is thick, but blood is thin. In for a penny, in for a pound. It's love that makes the world go round. Nothing venture, nothing win. Blood is thick, but blood is thin. In for a penny, in for a pound. It's love that makes the world go Fold your flapping wings, soaring legislature. Stoop to little things, stoop to human nature. Never need to roam. Members patriotic, let's begin at home.
exotic. Bitter is your bane, terrible your trials, dingy Drury Lane, soapless 7 dials. Take a wretched thief gathered from the gutter, hustle him about, strap him to a shutter. What am I but he, washed at hours stated, fed on filigree, clothed and educated? He's a mark of scorn. I might be another if I had been born of a tipsy mother. Take a wretched thief through the city sneaking, pocket handkerchief ever seeking. What am I but he, robbed of all my chances, picking pockets by force of circumstances? I might be as bad, as unlucky rather, if I'd only had Megan for a father.
Phyllis. But I suppose I should say milady. I've not yet been informed which title your ladyship has pleased to select.
I haven't quite yet decided. You see, I have no mother to advise me.
No, I have.
Yes, a young mother.
Not very, a couple centuries or so.
Oh, she wears well.
She does. She's a fairy.
I beg your pardon? Oh, what?
Oh, I've no longer any reason to conceal the fact. She's a fairy.
A fairy? Well, but that would explain a good many things. Then I suppose you're a fairy.
I'm half a fairy.
Which half?
Why, the upper half, down to the waistcoat.
Really? Dear me! Well, there's nothing to show it. But why didn't you tell me of this before?
Well, I thought you would take a dislike to me. But as it's all off, you may as well know the truth. I'm only half a mortal.
Oh, but I'd much rather have half a mortal I do love than half a dozen I don't.
Oh, I think not. Go to your half dozen.
It's only 2, and I hate them. Please forgive me.
I don't think I ought to. Besides, all sorts of difficulties will arise. Do you realize that my grandmother looks quite as young as my mother, and so do all my aunts?
Oh, I quite understand. Whenever I see you kissing a very young lady, I shall know that it's an elderly relative.
You will?
Hmm.
Then, Phyllis, I think we shall be very happy.
We won't wait long.
No, we might change our minds. We'll get married first.
And change our minds afterwards.
That's the usual course. If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, of the feelings I inspire, you may tire by and by. For peers with flowing coffers press their offers, that is why I am sure we should not tarry ere we marry, you and I.
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, with the more attractive attractive maiden, jewel laden, you may fly. If by chance we should be parted, broken hearted, I should die. So I think we will not tarry ere we marry, you and I. If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I,
of the feelings I inspire, you may tire,
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, of the feelings I inspire, you may tire, so I think we will not tarry ere we marry, you and I, you and I, you and I. But does your mother know you're... I mean, is she aware of our engagement?
She is. And thus she welcomes her daughter-in-law.
Oh, she kisses just like other people. Oh, but the Lord Chancellor.
The Lord Chancellor? I forgot about him. Mother, none can resist your very eloquence. You will go to him and plead for us.
No, impossible.
But our happiness, our very lives depend on obtaining his consent.
Oh, madam, you must not refuse to do this.
Nay, you know not what you ask. The Lord Chancellor is my husband.
Your husband?
Yes, my husband. And your father.
Oh, then our course is plain. Upon the Lord Chancellor discovering that Strephon is his son, all objections to our marriage shall at once be removed.
Nay, he must never know. He believes me to have died childless. And, well, dearly as I love him, I am bound under penalty of death not to undeceive him.
Victory!
But see, he comes! Quick, my veil.
Victory! Success has crowned my efforts, and I may consider myself engaged to Phyllis. At first I wouldn't hear of it. It was out of the question. But I took heart. I pointed out to myself that I was no stranger to myself, that in point of fact I had been personally acquainted with myself for some years. This had its effect. I admitted that I had watched my professional advancement with considerable interest, and I handsomely added that I yielded to no one in admiration for my private and professional virtues. This was a great point gained. I then endeavored to work upon my feelings. Conceive my joy when I distinctly perceived a tear glistening in my own eye. Eventually, after a severe struggle with myself, I reluctantly, most reluctantly, consented.
My lord, a suppliant at your feet I kneel. Oh, listen to a mother's fond appeal. Hear me tonight, I come in urgent need. 'Tis for my son, young Strephon, that I plead. It was, if in the bygone years thine eyes have ever shed tears, bitter unavailing tears for one untimely dead. If in the eventide of life sad thoughts of her arise, then let the memory of thy wife plead for my boy. He died.
may not be, for so the fates decide. Learn thou that Phyllis is my promised bride.
My bride! No, no.
It shall be so. Those who would separate us woe betide.
My doom thy lips have spoken, I plead in vain. Oh, thou already broken, I break again. For him, for her, for thee, I yield my life. Behold, it may not be. I am thy wife.
Iolanthe, thou livest.
I live. Now let me die. Once again thy vows are broken. Thou thyself thy doom hast spoken. Bow thy head to destiny, death thy doom, and thou shalt die.
It's our fault. They couldn't help themselves.
It seems they have helped themselves, and pretty freely, too. You have all incurred death. But I can't slaughter the whole company. And yet the law is clear.